boiled. That's just how everything's like. Day 1, you're like, oh man, this fresh boiled piranha is so good. Day 13, you're like, please God, no boiled piranha for breakfast.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting? We've gotten to this point as a society where we eat what we enjoy.
Right.
Instead
Not
of
what's...
like what just keeps you alive.
Right.
I was with Steve Ranella once, and he caught a beaver, and we cooked the beaver. And one of the things that he cooked was the beaver tail. And he said that it was a staple amongst trappers.
Okay.
That they really like beaver tail because it was a good concentration of fat. It was a great source of fat.
I imagine it's just a big fatty tissue.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I bet.
But when you're dying of fat, like you need fat.
Right.
Like you're starving.
Right.
Like fat is literally what you crave. Then it becomes delicious.
Sure.
Like, then it's not a matter of, oh, I prefer fried chicken. Well,
Right.
I'm a pizza
Right.
guy myself. It's not. We eat based on our flavor preferences.
It is interesting because taste is so elemental to what we decide to do every single day. Oh, I like this, I like that. Mm-hmm. But that's not the point of food.
Right.
The point of food is nourishment, right? Mm-hmm. It's to keep your body strong and you continue to have energy. And yet we've completely abandoned that notion. In fact, so much so that we have the opposite problem where we're over-nourishing, at least with fats and oils and things like that constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, if people could come from the past, back from those pioneer days, and see people today, they'd be like, "Oh my God, this is wild!"
They probably think
everyone's
it was great.
fat.
They probably because that was like a sign of being healthy back then and wealthy, right? If you could afford to be fat, they'd be like, "Wow, this is great."
Well, I don't know about healthy, but it was definitely a sign of wealth and the fact that you didn't have to work. And so, like when you look at those paintings from the Renaissance of those Rubenesque women, like that was attractive. Like we were psyched if you found a big fat lady.
Yeah, big old gal.
Yeah, that girl, she's eating good. That's what I like.
That's what I needed.
I don't like some skinny farmer lady. I like some royal lady who gets to just have fruit given to her while she lays down.
Last time we hung out, you were doing pure carnivore.
Yeah,
How was that
now.
You're doing it now?
Yeah, because it's January.
Oh.
January is World Carnivore Month. I don't know who fucking made that up, but yeah.
Why not?
I mixed in a little fruit. I eat fruit because I find when I don't do that, and I did straight carnivore for the first few days, I think like the first 8 or 9 days, but it was, it's hard. I was slogging through workouts.
Just no energy?
Yeah. Like just and they say there's an adjustment period, just like keto. They call it like have you ever done a keto diet?
Not for more than like a week at a time.
It takes a while to really get your body to turn ketogenic and to start burning fat instead of carbohydrates. And it's there's a thing they call the keto flu, where it feels like almost like you got the flu. Where
that
you're like,
sounds awful.
Not really like the flu. It's a bad way of describing it. It's more like you're not well rested.
Gotcha.
So like when I would work out, I would like have to really push through these workouts. Mm-hmm. Like you feel like you're missing a gear. That's what it feels like.
Just none of that extra ATP to like burn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't get into fourth gear. It's weird. It's like it doesn't feel good.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, but when I added fruit, that goes away.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah. After we hung out and you were doing that, I read Paul Saladino's book, The Carnivore Code, I think it's called, a carnivore diet, the one where he eats meat, fruit, and honey and bases it, because like he's been on your show before, right? Yeah, so I read his book, and I thought it was really interesting, the whole idea of like those are the most sought after foods in the world. And they are for most cultures, but definitely not all cultures, right? Which I think is maybe
it all depends
abandoned.
on what the resources are, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
If you're dealing with a culture that has access to an enormous amount of rice, an enormous amount or cassava, or whatever those things are, there's different things that people eat where they just eat it because of convenience.
That's availability and cost and effort, right?
But if you have access to all the food and you really wanted to live an optimal lifestyle, I do think that organs are primary. It's like eating liver and eating heart is very, very good for you. And then eating red meat, especially like lean red meat, is very good for you.
It's all about Lucky Charms. I saw your post.
Isn't that nuts?
That was wild.
Isn't that nuts that that's a real like NIH-funded food chart that places Lucky Charms above eggs?
There were so many things too, not just the Lucky. I mean, that was preposterous, but there were so many things that
chocolate-covered almonds.
Right, that's healthier than a steak.
Off. That's candy.
Exactly.
That's literally chocolate. Yeah, there's almonds, but it's fucking chocolate, which is sugar. and some cacao.
Yeah. That was wild.
Straight horse shit. Like, these people are criminals.
Yeah.
They're all being paid off. They've all been paid off by these big food corporations.
By the big food, industries.
For sure. Well, it's been proven that, like, there's been a bunch of these people that are, like, fat doctors that are trying to tell you that there are no junk foods, and it's really
I haven't heard
shaming people. Yeah, big fat ladies that are saying this. You know, the same kind of ones that don't want you using the term fat.
Sure.
But they're being paid off by, like, these companies that make, like, fucking ho-hos,
Oreos, and blah,
cookies
blah, blah.
and shit.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of food, not maybe not those in specific, but those kinds of foods where they're readily available at supermarkets. In general, other than rice and some beans and some other stuff that you get in the center of the grocery store, all the shit around the edges is what you want. You want the stuff that's fresh. You want the stuff like the vegetables, like they have to, like, they've replaced them all the time.
Yeah.
That shit in the boxes in the middle, most of that stuff's not good for you.
Of course.
Unless it's canned or bottled. You know, I mean, there's tomato sauces and stuff that's in the center that's fine for you.
Still packed with sugar, though, right?
Some of them. I mean, there's organic ones that aren't. But the outside, that's what you want.
Yep.
You want where the milk is, where's the cheese, where's the eggs. It's on the outside. It's refrigerated.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a reason you have to eat it fresh.
Yeah, you got to eat it quick.
Right.
And it's really, like, a lot of the stuff, like especially like pasteurized and homogenized milk, there's a real good argument that that's not even good, because your body's like, what is this weird liquid protein stuff? This is not, like, where's the enzymes that are supposed to be available in raw milk?
So what's your feeling on, like, a protein shake? Like, you're doing this carnivore thing, you're obviously getting tons of protein. You're not doing a protein shake as well, are you?
No, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're eating meat, most of what I'm eating is meat and eggs.
Sure.
That's mostly what I'm eating.
That's a dream diet, really.
But the thing is, I feel great.
Yeah.
My mind, I'm very clear-headed, and I have a lot of energy. It's like every time I do it, every January, I'm like, God, why don't I eat this way all the time? The problem is I'm a glutton.
Yeah.
And I really love pasta, and I really love cheeseburgers, and I really love pizza. I fucking love pizza, man.
Yeah.
Woo! I love bread.
Yeah.
It tastes great, but
I love bread.
It's definitely not my thing in terms of, like, what my body responds to the best. My body responds the best to fruit and meat and eggs and you know, organ meats, and that's really, and fish.
Yeah.
My body responds the best when I eat that stuff. And when I eat that stuff, my body's like, yeah, great, this is awesome. Like, I can eat a steak and then go right on stage. And not have a problem
and you feel
at all.
fine. You feel good.
But if I eat a bowl of spaghetti and go on stage, I'm fucking...
You're a drip. Yeah, for sure.
You eat a whole pizza and go on stage. I'm so dumb. It's like it takes away like 30% of my mind capacity.
Clarity, yeah.
Yeah.